We believe this about MJF. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm talking about. And I think you're going to find this quite interesting because AEW is in a state of decline, if you will, right? Look at every business metric that there is, whether that be television ratings, social media engagement, attendance, live gate, pay-per-view buys, just overall interest. I mean, the fact that no one talks about AEW like they used to. And it's interesting for a company that's only been around for 5 years, such great heights and seemingly low lows. And 2024 has continuously hit AEW and Tony Khan in the face over and over and over again, to the point where Uncle Dave Meltzer is reporting in his newsletter that there's a lot of frustration among AEW talent right now. And I can see why. Now, Uncle Dave, well, he cites the fact that talent is upset with lack of television time, exposure, ring time, and opportunities, which is kind of interesting considering that AEW has 3 AEW weekly programs. Rampage, Collision, Dynamite. Oh, by the way, you have what, like an hour and a half, 2-hour ROH program? There's so much talent under the ROH and AEW banner because you have to combine them, because like someone who is so talented as Athena has been wasted away for like the last year in ROH as the ROH Women's Champion. Sure, she's a champion. Sure, she's getting booked. But have you seen one of her matches lately? Yeah, neither have I. And so when you take into that, and then you take in the fact that AEW kind of got hot towards the end of 2023, it was due to MJF. And everyone's like, well, if MJF would just return, it would solve all of their problems. Really? Would it? Look at the talent that AEW has signed as of late. Mercedes Moné, supposed to be a game changer. Hasn't. Signed Will Ospreay, supposed to be a game changer. Hasn't. Signed Okada, New Japan's biggest star. Their biggest star in the last 15 years. Hasn't made a difference. Okay, fine, we're going to bring the Young Bucks back. We're going to push them to the promised land. They're going to feud with freaking Tony Khan, of all people. They're going to lay him out. That hasn't worked. So you really expect one guy to come back and change things for AEW? Well, that's what people have convinced themselves of. So let's get into today's topic. Now look, there have been reportedly some discussions in AEW about having MJF make his return to television in the near future. This is according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select. Keep in mind the former AEW World Heavyweight Champion, well, he hasn't been seen since losing to Samoa Joe at the Dynasty pay-per-view event on December 30th because he was dealing with multiple injuries, right? Now, Fightful's report notes that there is currently no word yet on a particular return date for MJF. It may happen sooner rather than later. Now, some in AEW expect him to be back for the AEW Forbidden Door pay-per-view event with New Japan, which is in June. Possibly sooner, right? Now, the talks have reportedly been ongoing, revolving around his return, what it would look like, potential altercations with people like Adam Cole, and changes to his presentation and more. Now, keep in mind that MJF still has a lot of time left on his AEW contract and reportedly signed an extension following last year's AEW Double or Nothing in May. Now, it's said that several higher-ups in AEW know that he is secretly under a contract. Keep in mind, there's also still no word on his physical health because he was written off of television after AEW Dynasty. Now, keep in mind, this man reportedly had surgery. In fact, he had surgery on his shoulder, on his left shoulder. It was originally reported that he was going to be out for close to a year, and that's why he kept pushing it back. That is why he kept not getting the surgery. He wanted to look into alternative therapy, physical therapy, right? Other ways to get around this issue. So, should we really expect to see MJF show up at a Forbidden Door or show up on AEW television within the next 2 months? No, we shouldn't. Unless you're just going to have a guy come out there and do promos every single week that leads to no matches. He can't get physically into it. What are we doing? What are we doing if this man legitimately, in all intents and purposes, he got the surgery, he's going to be out for a year. Why would we bring him back now? It's just a waste. Then it made me think, okay, self, what if, like they did with Kenny Omega, what if they bring him back for a week or two and try to pop a number? Right? They had Kenny Omega return a few weeks ago. He got laid out by the Elite. Following week, he appeared in a backstage segment in a hospital room and announced Anarchy in the Arena for Double or Nothing 2024. Could you do that with MJF? Yes, but once again, what's the point? Right? Will he lead to increase in ratings? Yes. But will those same people who tune in, will they come back? I don't think so. And if you think about it, and I'm not even comparing, but like it's our small sample size. When you brought in Mercedes Moné, yes, ratings went up, but not that much. And when you brought back Kenny Omega, did ratings go up? Yeah, but not that much. And I think MJF is a bigger star than both of those talents, right? But I don't know how much his return will mean. And it's not a knock on him, but I think it's very clear if AEW all of a sudden advertises MJF for an upcoming episode, it's much different from him just appearing. Because when he returns, and if you keep it a surprise and he just shows up, that means he didn't get the surgery. That means he's ready to go. That means he can wrestle. That means he's a much, much bigger asset to AEW. But if you advertise him in advance, like you did Kenny Omega, then you automatically know that, hey, MJF is not medically cleared, and this is going to be a short-term return. He's not going to be back for multiple weeks, multiple months. He's not going to be in the top program. And oh, by the way, the last time we saw MJF, he was laid out by Adam Cole and the Undisputed Kingdom. Remember that? The devil aspect? The devil mask reveal? So Adam Cole's not medically returned or medically cleared to return. So why should we expect MJF to? And oh, by the way, if MJF does return, are you just saying you're going to drop that program? Like, there's so many holes in this that I just don't believe it, and I don't think you should either. And look, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. I don't know. But time will tell, and time will determine that question. Time will determine that answer. Now look, as an AEW fan, as someone who has legitimately bought tickets this year, I want them to succeed. I want them to turn things around. Their programming has gotten a lot better. But the crux of the problem is not the talent. AEW has plenty of talent. The crux of the problem is they have a lack of creative leadership. And that's Tony Khan's fault. And that's where you should point your finger towards. It is a Tony Khan problem. And at the end of the day, if you do not understand that, that is on you. And I just wonder what AEW, what Tony Khan can do to turn around the ship. Well, I can tell you, it's long-term booking that makes sense.